Okay, this is Bagna Cauda. It's a hot fish dip from northern Italy, the Piedmont region, and you eat it with cold vegetables. Although I swear to God, Nona served it with bread too. But it's served warm, and it's anchovies, oil, and garlic. Tons of garlic. And if that doesn't sound good to you, well, you weren't brought up on this stuff. She made it every year at the holidays, so I had to have some. Keep an open mind and enjoy. Hi, I'm going to make a hot dip that my Nona made, Irene, around the holidays. It's called Bagna Cauda. It's from northern Italy, Piedmont area, and it's not for everybody. Here goes. Okay, so why did I dramatically say it's not for everybody? Because Bagna Cauda has three ingredients. Three. Garlic, oil, olive oil, of course, and anchovies. Not these anchovies, or all these different types you can get in a nice little jar, all sterile and good. These anchovies. This comes directly from a lady that lived up most of her life in Piedmont, but I met at the store. And they've got to be scaled. They've got to be, desalted, which isn't too big of a deal, desalting them, but scaling them, yeah, I'm a little intimidated by this. This is not the way my Nona made it, but it's the way they make it here. Now, how much is this going to serve, this dip? What is Bagna Cauda? Let's start with that. Let me go back. Okay, hold on. Okay, Bagna Cauda. It's a hot dip. You dip vegetables into it, mostly vegetables. Bread is not traditional here in the Piedmont area of Italy, but Nona served it with bread, which is nice because you could dip it in the bread and it soaks into the bread a little bit, and you can put vegetables on the bread a little bit, some peppers, some celery, onions, whatever you want. And it's not for everybody. Anyway, let's get back to making the stuff. Okay, so here's two heads of garlic, right? How much is this going to serve? 2 heads of garlic. How many servings is that going to produce? Here's 300 grams of anchovies. How many servings is that going to produce? The answer? 2. 2. Okay? So this garlic is going to, I know it seems like a ton of anchovies and a ton of garlic. I'm giving you a feel for it, and a high quality olive oil. If this grosses you out, and I'm sure a lot of people have just said, oh, heck with this already. Okay, have a good life, bye-bye. But this brings back memories for me. It's good. It's kind of salty, the garlicky stuff. It's not great for folks with gout, I guess. But yeah, let's just put these things back in the refrigerator, because we're going to go, with a true local expert who was brought up in the region of Italy where they make this stuff. Okay, there's definitely something to learn here. This was the larger garlic. And look how it came out with these big, big pieces. Look at the number of little cloves I'm going to have to pull all apart and peel. This is all peeled. I've got to do a little bit of removal of the root parts and any little parts that got bruised. So I'll try to minimize how much of that we got to remove. But this one's going to be a lot more work and hassle. And, yeah, I have to learn how to pick out garlic. Okay. Okay, Coco, do you think you're going to have the slightest interest in this? I don't think so. Okay, this is the garlic. This step, after you've peeled it, you cut it long ways and then pull out the green. And I think the big one that produced all this over here, I forget which side this one goes on, but they produced about as much garlic by the time I cut out the little funny bits. But now we got to pull out those little green bits where they're sprouting. And maybe that's why you start off with so much garlic, because by the time you end up with enough of the really, really good, the good stuff that's going to cook down well and be, you know, for the connoisseur, you have to get rid of some waste. Okay, just real quick here, after separating out these little green cores, which would have sprouted, I didn't put them all over here in this pile. I should have. But this is what we're left with. It's the cored garlic. So, all nice white garlic. Oop, I missed one there. So we'll get him. But, yeah, we'll look this over and get it in the pan and start to get it browning. Scoozy, scoozy, scoozy. This never browns. This just cooks very, very, very low for a long time. Removing these little green things, by the way, was not something that my consigliere from the Piedmont told me to do. I'm going to ask her about it. But it's the cooking time here. She said 2 hours. Internet, they told me to remove these things, said 1 hour. So, yeah. So maybe somewhere in between there. Sometimes the internet's a little bit too fussy. People think they're more sophisticated than they are. Okay, preparation is about half done. The garlic's ready, the anchovies are not. It's a very heavy bottom pan instead of the traditional ceramic or clay pot approach. This is going to make enough Bagna Cauda for 2, and that will call for a half cup of oil total. So I've got maybe, I don't know, maybe a quarter, not even a quarter cup in there to just get the garlic going. Okay, so let's get the garlic in there. Try to get it. You see it's just in big pieces here. It's going to cook here for 2 hours in this oil, slow and at low temperature. And lots of stirring involved. And it's going to smell wonderfully, if you ask me. And, okay, I'm ready to get to working on the anchovies. Okay, we'll turn our attention to the anchovies here in just a second. This oil is barely even bubbling. It's warm. It's warm. It's not hot at all. See the little bubbles there? And that's going to do that for hours. But now to the anchovies. Okay, these are not your mama's anchovies. These are Spanish anchovies. And I am informed by 2 independent sources, local sources, that the Spanish anchovies are actually better than the Italian anchovies. I don't know why. I'm going to desalinate them here, get them in some water here, and rinse them off good, and then rinse them 2 or 3 times, then rinse them in a little bit of wine, and then we're going to descale the little buggers. Then they're going to go in that pot. Now, there's likely no way I can capture this. I'm going to put the camera in my shirt pocket here in the hopes to show you what's going on here. Okay, let's try that again. Camera in your shirt pocket. Focus it on the anchovies. So what I've done a couple of times here so far is with warm water, gone like so. Stir them around here a little bit, and this has a beautiful anchovy smell. If you think anchovies smell beautiful, which if you don't, this is not the dish for you. And then everything up. I guarantee you, this does have a distinctive aroma when it's cooking, and it's delicious if you like it. So next I'm just going to rinse a little bit of wine over these just for the heck of it, and then start scaling them. Okay, time for a progress report. Oh, I'm a little bit through about half the anchovies. You see the scales are scraped off there, the silvery bits there, and I've cut off the remaining back half of the head and the dorsal fin and the tails. That's this stuff. So that's going to go away. But anyway, a few more to do here. It's not as bad as I thought. You hold it in your hand and like this right here. I'm not going to be able to do this. You just hold it in your hand and scrape it with a knife. You know, and the scales come off, you know, under the running water. And they come off and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, the garlic here. It did brown a little bit more than I should have browned it. So I turned it off, let it sit there. It's getting, a lot of it's very clear, except for those brown bits. I should have really turned that down earlier, according to the, the consigliere. And there's one piece there, it has some green. Oh, sometimes you can't believe what the holiday foods will do to you. Now look here. This is going to be Bagna Cauda. This is what you want for the anchovies. They're cleaned. This is the right amount for 2 whole cloves of clean garlic, which doesn't come out to 2 whole cloves because there's waste, and there's waste in the anchovies. You have to cut off the little remaining bit of jawbone. You have to cut off the dorsal fin, the tail, and of course scrape the scales off before you do that under warm running water. Seemed to work pretty good. But this is what you want, not this. I'm not picking on this particular brand, but I don't know. It's what I heard from a real serious influencer. Somebody should have influence. Okay, so we're gonna turn the heat back up on here. Are we running? Yeah, we're running a little warm there. Let's turn it down a little bit. About maybe there, because this has got to run for a long time. And 2 hours. 2 hours. Here goes the anchovies. Boom. And there's going to be a bunch more oil put in here pretty soon. And then that is going to cook and cook and cook for 2 hours. Uh-oh. Gotta go to the backup oil. But they look like anchovies. They're big. They look like little herrings or something. This is not the my consigliere that calls for the red herring, but I'm going to ask her about that. She might have, but it's hard to give a recipe to somebody at a grocery store. You can tell them the important stuff, but you might not catch everything. Okay, so oil, 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 oil. Okay, let's see here, going by what I got left here. Boom. Oh yeah, that's enough. So that's a good 500 milliliters of oil. Okay, now all's over but the waiting and the stirring. Yeah, so the oil is not even bubbling yet. Just low heat, a thick bottom pan. Should be a ceramic pan, a crockery pan of a certain sort. But there's my anchovies. I'm very happy with the way they look. Looks like real clean fish. Consigliere said I could remove the... Oh, there's a piece of garlic I didn't catch. A piece of garlic skin, that's gonna go. But she said you could debone these. I don't know how you'd go about that. My philosophy is going to be, if something's difficult, just cook it until the bones they break down and become, nice calcium in there. Add a little bit of the healthiness of it because, I don't know, the healthiness of this could be questioned. It's healthy for some, but not for others. Okay? Not universally one way or the other. Okay, a little progress here. We're only a few minutes into it, and the oil is starting to bubble a little bit. And this will eventually, the fish will break down into little, like almost a paste. And the garlic will get very soft, and the flavors will mix up nicely. And oh, here, see, right here, the fish is already starting to break up a little bit. That's good. Now, what do we have here? What is it here? 10 till 7. So, I've got some time here yet. This takes a long time. Let's turn on the fan because, because we don't want to smell the whole house. Now here, look here. Oh my gosh, a little bone's coming out. I have to fish this guy out of here. Oh, this is what she was talking about, just pulling out these little bones. maybe this is how you get them out. Once you start cooking. Why not? I don't know, because the calcium in them is good. I'm torn. I am torn. I'm going to pick them out or let them cook in, because they're going to be soft and, you know, edible. And they're 100% calcium. Here's another piece right here. Okay. You have to watch out doing this, because these things are sitting here in the hot oil. But there is a little sardine spine bone right there. Now, if I let that cook, oh, who knows? I don't know. I think I'm going to pick them out. And then consider this as a little bit more of a research project the next time. Oh, it smells wonderful. Oh, the garlic and the anchovies. This takes me back to my youth, and this is exactly why I made this. Oh, fantastic. And I'm sure Nona did not have as good of oil, anchovies, or garlic. Well, she probably had as good a garlic. And maybe the anchovies, too. And who knows, there used to be little Italian groceries all over the place in Arnold, Pennsylvania. Now, what's in Arnold, Pennsylvania? Yep. Just like now. And there's another little one. Okay, I better turn this off. I don't want to waste a lot of time doing this. Okay, on this deboning thing, this has only been cooking here for a little bit, like 15 minutes. And if you just keep stirring, the meat is falling away from the, well, it's basically the spinal column of the fish. Right? It's all the vertebrae and the ribs. And I'm poking around here, kind of looking through the steam to find them and pulling some out. And I guess my philosophy is going to be, you know, some are going to make it out, some are going to stay in there. And, but you see the meatiness of it here, and the garlic's getting nice. Oh my God, the garlic's getting very soft. You could poke it here with a spoon, and it's just, oh, it's nice. So this is oil, garlic, and anchovies. Old as the hills of Piedmont. Well, not that old. But old as the people in the hills in Piedmont, I suppose. Okay, so I killed the fan for a second. We're only 20 minutes into this. And I think I could have kept the heat a little bit lower, but I don't think there was any serious detrimental effect there. And I did add a little bit more oil, just to sort of make it seem how I remember it. Now, some of these pieces of garlic did get a little bit brown on the outside, but not too brown, not burned certainly. And the anchovies are breaking up pretty nicely. And I've been pulling out a few of the bones as we see them. But what remains in there is going to remain in there and cook in there and provide a nice calcium. Yeah, so, but the garlic is just coming along really well here. It's only been 20 minutes. I'm sure many people have heard of roasted garlic, where you just roast garlic cloves in the oven. And, wow, this does not look exactly like my grandmother's Irene, but it does look good. Oh, I can't wait. It's only another hour and 40 minutes. Oh, by the way, This is a level of heat. It's a very, very low flame on a very thick bottomed pot. So that's it's fairly important to keep things from burning or to get too high of a heat and too localized an area. But yeah, if I hit these little garlic, not little garlic cloves, they're big garlic cloves, they're starting to really break down into, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to serve this up. I'm going to take this up on the hill tomorrow and serve it up to a few of my friends from Umbria, who really don't know about Bagna Cauda. And perhaps my consigliere will be there from Piedmont, who does know about Bagna Cauda, and could give me a proper feedback on this. Oh. Good food is life. Okay. So, things are looking very nice here. It's only been 35 minutes into it. I've got my first little taste here, which I picked out about 5 minutes ago. It is looking like a very serious Bagna Cauda. And it's tasting like a very serious Bagna Cauda. Now this, I have a slight problem with this stove. Because, it was so good. It's very difficult to turn this flame down really super low. Oh, that would go out. Okay, that might hang in there. But just to keep this cooking very slowly, letting the garlic roast at the boiling temperature of the olive oil, which just seems so apropos. But I can say, my gosh, when I fish a little bit of this out, oh, that's a lot. Oh, there's a nice piece of garlic there. When you fish this out and taste it, I'm going to have to let this cool, but it's unbelievable. I wasn't able to pull out too many of the anchovy spines because, there were a good, maybe 2 dozen anchovies in this, big anchovies, to make it up. It's fantastic. So far, so good. Okay, it's been 1 hour and 5 minutes. It's getting darker, which is not bad or good. The garlic is, everything's soft in there. And, I think I might have just a little bit too much oil in here, which I don't think will be a bad thing. Because all the flavors are going to be mixed around there pretty good. But I should have paid more attention to the oil. It's good oil. So that's good. Yep. So what I'm doing here is just stirring it up so that any little bits of garlic that come up, any whole pieces of garlic that come up. My gosh, they're soft. They're cooking down to nothing. Releasing everything they have in them for flavors. Oh, okay. I can't wait. I really want to compare this to that of my consigliere. Consigliere is the correct pronunciation of that. Who her only qualifications are she's from Piedmont. Piedmont, up in the northwest region of Italy, bordering France. Ah, my God, this smells good. It actually smells a lot better than, I hate to say this. Okay, here's a picture of the group that critiqued the Bagna Cauda, if you could call it a critique. They loved it. I was really surprised. And I think, these folks here in the Umbrian countryside are infinitely polite, infinitely patient, infinitely helpful. They're very nice people. So it's hard to get them to open up and be honest about it, but, you try. And I do think they liked it. The lady who advised me on this from Piedmont area did stop by. She said it was very good. And the only comment was she said it needed to be done in a food processor or chopped up more instead of, I told her I just used a wooden spoon to stir it, which would be, they didn't have food processors back in the day. I don't know what they had. Anyway, it went over pretty well. So I was happy about that. Oh, by the way, served it with cut pieces of celery, and one of the guys brought over some bread. So we had it both ways, and it pretty much all went away.